Yo, what's going on? It's Lewis here, the crypto beginner, and in today's video, we're going to be going over TradingView. Now, TradingView is a software that you could use that will let you do technical analysis on different cryptocurrencies. And the reason you want to do this is because you will be able to do technical analysis and get your buy positions, your sell positions, and the different ranges and all of the different things that you need in order to become a really good trader. Now, this video is a video that is inside of my Crypto Mastery course. I'll put a link below in the description. So check this out. If you want to be a good trader, if you want to learn everything, all the little details, this is the video for you. If you find it helpful, smash up the likes. Otherwise, I'll see you at the end of the video. I hope this is helpful. Let's get to it. Alright, in today's video, we're going to be going over TradingView. Now, TradingView is a software on your computer that lets you do technical analysis on cryptocurrencies, along with other things like Forex and stocks and stuff like that. Now, you can use TradingView to do your technical analysis, and that will help you determine what your buy price will be, what your sell prices will be, what your targets are, what you're aiming for, the overall trend of the market, the overall trend of the coin, and it'll give you a lot of really good insights, and it'll basically let you know what you need to know in order to make your trade and to be a successful trader. This is the software that the majority of traders use. And now there is another software called Coinigy, and I'll go into that in a second. But yeah, this is what we're going to be going over. Now, earlier in this course, I was using Coinigy, and this I will show you is Coinigy right here. And so this is Coinigy. This is what I used before. And there are actually two different things. There's this, which is Coinigy, which you could see right here. And then there is TradingView. And this is TradingView, which you could see right here. Now, I use both. Sometimes I use Coinigy. Sometimes I use TradingView. I started out using Coinigy mostly. I'm starting to switch over to TradingView because it just seems like more and more people use TradingView, but a lot of professional traders use Coinigy too, so it's really a personal preference. In today's video though, we're going to be going over TradingView. Alright, so once you log into TradingView, or once you go to tradingview.com, what you want to do is you want to log in. You want to start not a trial, but you can actually sign up and just, put your email, your name in, get your account for free. You don't need to pay anything with TradingView. With Coinigy, you don't need to pay, but you will have to create a new email address every 30 days, which can get sort of annoying. So the thing with Coinigy is that you could use it to its full extent pretty much for 30 days before you need to renew it and you need to make a new account or a new email address to sign up with it. With TradingView, you can't use it to its full extent, but what it does offer on its free account is enough for the average person. And so you could just sign up and there's no need to actually sign up and pay for the pro trial when everything is available on the free trial and you don't have to get a new email address. So with saying that, this is TradingView. When you log in, this will be the first screen that comes up. Up on the top, it has different things such as the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Euro USD, some BTC, ETH. So this obviously is not strictly for cryptocurrencies, but it has all of the different markets on it. Underneath that, there's the different menus that you could click on. I don't actually ever click on any of these except for a chart. And underneath that, we have this whole area that has the top authors, basically the best people that are trading right now. And then it has some graphs that you could look at along with some analysis underneath of that. So if you want to, for instance, you could click on one of the person's graphs and you can see what their technical analysis was for it. And then underneath of it, they have a little write-up. And so that's actually pretty cool. It might, I've started looking at these a lot more and they could get very useful to help you with technical analysis. Not to mention, if you click this play button right here, what it does is it loads up new bars if new bars do show up. And that's pretty cool because what happens is they create their TA and then they post it And then say it's like 3 days later, you could press that button and then it'll show whether they were correct or not. Anyway, that is that. Over on the right side, you have market summary. Underneath that, you have news. I don't really look at any of this stuff down here though. And then you just have more TA, more different graphs. And it just basically keeps on going up until the very, very bottom. And what you're gonna wanna do is you're going to want to go to charts. So if you click on that button right there, that will bring up the charts. Now, when you have your charts, this is the free version, right? So you're going to have this come up constantly, like every 5 minutes pretty much. And if I just get rid of this and I get rid of this, all right, so now you have your charts and you'll probably start out looking at BTC USD. That's usually what it starts out with is Bitcoin USD pairings. So let's just go over all of this. This is obviously the chart area where you will be doing your technical analysis. You can scroll backwards to see the bigger picture. You could scroll forwards to zoom in even more. Or alternatively, you could bring your cursor down here and you could zoom in like this. You could zoom out like this. You could go to the left by clicking this button. You could go to the right by clicking this button. And you can refresh by clicking this button, which brings it back into center. Up on the top left, you have this area right here, which is where you put in your pair. So right now we have BTC USD. We could do ETH USD. And when you type that in, you'll see all the different pairings and you'll see the exchanges that it's looking at. So this is for Bitfinex, Coinbase, Kraken, etc., etc. And so you can click this, and now this is the chart for ETH USD on Bitfinex. You could also do other things like Neo BTC, and then this will come up, and it'll say Binance. So you go, now this is the Neo BTC on Binance. Anyway, you get the point. Whichever one you want to use, you put it in there. Let's go back to BTC USD just for reference. So now we're back here. Right next to that, you have the time period. So right now it's the D as in 1 day. It has everything from 1 minute up to 1 month for you. Next to that, we have these candlesticks, which you could choose whether you want to view your graphs in candles or bars or hollow candles or line graph, really whatever you want. And to be honest, just stick with candles. Candles is the easiest, it's the best, it's what everyone uses. Right here we have compare, you don't need to worry about that at all. Right here we have indicators, and this is gonna be the big thing that you need to know about. So the indicators, you click this button, and now all of the different indicators that TradingView has is available to you. So let's say that you want the MACD. You simply put it in the search bar right here, and MACD comes up. You click this button, and now you have the MACD underneath right here. Let's say you want the RSI. What do? You click indicators, you press RSI, and now you have the relative strength index. You click that, and it comes up right here. And you can do this for pretty much any type of thing that you want. If you want the Bollinger Bands, you click that. Now you have the Bollinger Bands right here and right here. So these are where the indicators come up. Now, the thing to know about TradingView, which is why I switch off between TradingView and Coinigy, is because TradingView only allows you 3 different indicators. So let's say that you want some moving averages. Let's say you have your MACD, you have your RSI, and you have your Bollinger Bands. Now you want to throw some moving averages on top. Well, if you click that, oh no, you don't have the full power of TradingView because you're still in free mode. So that means that you need to get rid of one of these indicators. So we could get rid of the MACD by selecting it and then pressing the delete key. And now we could go up to indicators and we could type in MA for moving average, and we could click moving average. Of course, if you try to click it more than once, you won't be able to. So you can only get one moving average because each moving average acts as its own indicator, but it will come up. So that is the drawback to TradingView, and that's why I like to do both of them. Now you'll see that sometimes these indicators, they don't actually show up very easily readable. You can't really see them too well. So what you could do is you can double click any indicator that you want, and you could click on style, and you can actually choose what style you want. You can make it thicker or thinner, and you could change the color. So you could do pretty much whatever you want. If you want to save it as the new thing, you click this button, click save as default, so that you don't have to always bring the thickness up and change the color every single time, but we'll just leave like that. And then this is the same thing for the MA. You could see that the thickness, if I bring the thickness up, it's a lot easier, or a lot more easy to actually see. And if I change the color, it's also a lot more easy to see. I could also change the length and the other parts of the indicator itself, and it changes as I click the buttons. And then I could click OK. And there you go. Now I have the RSI and I have the moving average. Right next to the templates tab, there is the alert tab. And this can come in handy. Usually I just use Delta or Blockfolio or another type of, alert software on my phone to create alerts. But this does come in handy. You can create this, and then you could choose whatever you want. So let's say whenever it crosses 6,751, you could choose to get an alert by putting in whatever you want over here, only once or every time. When it expires, show the pop-up, play the sound. You could choose send email to SMS, and you could do send SMS if you have the full plan, but obviously this is not the full power of TradingView. You just have the free plan, but honestly the email and the sound works just as well. So if I wanted to, I can just click create right now, and I have one alert. You can only have one alert, and that's why I don't use the alerts on TradingView, because you can only have one alert when it's on the free plan. I just stick with Delta and Blockfolio for my alerts. Next to that, you have ideas. You don't really need to worry about this. This is just the different ideas that you create or that people I follow create. Next to that, you have the replay function, and this is actually really, really cool. So let's say you want to test your skills. You might do something like this. You might go back in time, press this replay button, and then what happens is you get this red bar. So you can choose any area that you want to start at. So let's start here, and it deletes everything that was in front of it. See, none of this is in front of it anymore. And what you could do is you could do your TA, at this point, and see what it's going to happen. And you could see if your TA actually worked out, and then you press play and you see what actually happened. Okay, so that's pretty cool if you ask me. So I'll pause that, and then I will exit that out. Click yes. All right, and now we're back to the normal. Next to replay, you have the back button. So you could click back, and now you could go forward. It's really if you want to say, if you have an indicator and then you don't want it, just click back right there. If you want it back again, you can click forward. You get the point. Next to the undo and redo, you have this, which is just select layout. You don't really have to worry about that. This is pretty cool. You can name your different graphs. Make a copy of it. You could save your chart layout, and then you can rename it to whatever. Save that, and now that's saved. And if you want, you can load a chart layout, and now you have whatever. So let's say that you work on this, and then you exit it out, and then you go work on some other ones. Then a couple of days later, you want to load this up. You just click it here, and you click load, and then you click whatever, and it has all of your indicators still on it. Next to this place where you could save, you click this button right here, and this will bring up the different backgrounds that you could do. So right now I'm in the dark theme, as you can see, and if I click it, it says the user interface will change to the dark theme. Do you want to switch the template as well? I'll click yes, and now I'm in dark. If I want to, I can click light, and now I am light. And as you can see, it is way different. Honestly, you want to protect your eyes, so you want the dark theme. You do not want that super light theme. It is way too bright, and it's not good on your eyes. I actually change it. I change it all the way to black. On the dark theme, it's originally gray. I change it straight up black, and you could even change the vertical lines. You could change all of the different lines to black if you want. If you want to just have it straight up blacked out. This is possible, but I'd probably keep these like this just to have it like that. And I would keep everything else the same as well. You could also change the style of the colors. Honestly, green and red are the main colors, and it's pretty easy. Green is good, it's up. Red is down. So I'm gonna keep those the way they are. And then obviously you have your time zone and your trading and your events and alerts and stuff that you want. I don't really mess with any of that, but I'm just gonna click OK for that. And now we have this back on our graph. If we go one more to the right, you have this full screen mode, which is pretty cool. This is after you put everything in. You could full screen it, but you don't really need that right now. So I will exit, click escape, and go back here. On the right side, you have the price, and underneath you have the date. More over to the right, you don't really need to worry about any of this. Right here, you have the price, and it's nice and big, so this is what you would want to pay attention to. Underneath that, it shows you where it is in between today's low and today's high, where it is right now. Underneath that, this is what like other people are saying. It's probably better to sell. I don't ever pay attention to any of this. You got to make up your own decisions. And then underneath that, there's some news stories. To the right, you have some more tools. You don't really need to worry too much about these things. If you don't want this over here, all of these three things, you could click this button right here, and it takes away the watch list, the details, and the news. And to be honest, this honestly just looks a little bit better. Like the only thing that was really helpful for is this price, this big price right here. But you could see that, by looking right here. So it's not really the biggest thing in the world. Anyway, underneath that, you can have your alerts. And like I said, there's only one alert allowed in TradingView on the free. So we're not really going to do that. Underneath here, we have the data window, and this is good. This is the open, this is the high, this is the low, and this is the close for whatever currency or whatever crypto you're looking at right now. This is the Bitcoin USD 1 day on Bitfinex. So that's really useful information, although you don't need to actually click this button to see it, because you could see all of this right here. This is the open, this is the high, this is the low, and this is the close. And you could see 6,770.1 is the open, and all of the other ones correlate with that. So you don't really ever have to click this button either, unless you want to get just a little bit more details about your indicators. Like for instance, this shows that the moving average that I have right here, the 21-day moving average, is at 7,479. But you don't even really need that, because you could always just click this button right here, and it will bring up the moving average and what price it's at right there. And then as for the RSI, you could see that right here. So really all of your technical indicators, you don't ever really need to click that button. The hot list, I've never looked at the hot list before. Oh, and this is why, because it's a bunch of crap you don't need. Then you have a calendar, which again, you do not need. My ideas, these are the things that you posted. So this is pretty cool. You can save your ideas. I'll show you how to do that. And then this will be the place where you can get them. So this was one trade that I did before. Underneath that, you have the social tabs. So this right here are the public chats. I don't really think we really have time for public chats, private chats, ideas, stream, notifications, and that's about it for this side. Over on the left side, this is where you need to pay attention, because this is where we're going to be going over the things that you really need. So if I just clean up my graph a little bit by taking off the RSI and taking off the moving average, what you'll see on the left side are the different tools that you can use that will help you with your graphs. So this one right here is simply the crosshair that you could use in order to move your graph around. Underneath that, you have the line tool. Right here, you could see that there is a little thing that you could press as an arrow, and it gives you all of the different lines. So these are the different lines that you're going to use a lot of. Horizontal line. If you click that, what you could do is you could look for some horizontal, some place that looks like a good support or a good resistance, and you could click it. Of course, you could change the color to whatever color you want. You can change the thickness to very, very thick or pretty thin. You could change it. You can make it a dotted line. You could do whatever you want with it. You could even go in and change it up this way, which is pretty cool. So we'll leave all of that like that. And that is the horizontal line. You can also come back up here and get the horizontal ray. This is another tool that you'll use a lot, And the horizontal ray is just like the horizontal line, except it creates a line only from the point that you click it at. And once again, you could double click it and you can make it more or less thick. You could change the color. You could do whatever you want. It's very, very cool. Along with those things, you want to use, obviously, the trend line. The trend line is very, very important. The trend line, instead of being just straight up horizontal, the trend line, you can make it whatever angle you want. So, for instance, you start at the top, and then you bring this down to, say, right here, and you click here once more, and it lets it go, and now it's locked in. You also might want to use an arrow, because if you want to use an arrow as a trend line, it just makes it more obvious. We'll color this one red because it's in a down trend. And if we just get rid of all of these, then we will make our graph a lot cleaner. So underneath this area, you have this area with something that looks like a pitchfork. What you want to do is you want to click that little arrow right next to it, and you want to go down to this right here, the fib retracement. The fib retracement is going to be a very, very important tool that you will use in your technical analysis. And basically what you do with your fib retracement, you simply put it down and then drag it up and then click it again. You want to start off at the bottom, which should probably be over here, and then you want to let it go at the top, and now you have the different levels that the cryptocurrency's price may or may not fall back and rebound from. Now, we're going to have our own entire lesson based solely on the fib, so we're not going to get into too much detail with it right now, but this is where you find it. You find it right here, and if you click the arrow again, you'll see all of these other things. Honestly, I don't use anything else in here except for the fib, and I don't really know anyone else. I've seen a few things like this used very, very rarely, but usually it's always the fib. Underneath the fib, you have this. This is the paintbrush, so if you click that, now you can draw circles, you could draw M's, you could draw W's, you could draw arrows if you want. You could draw whatever you want. And if we just get rid of all of these things, there you go. If you click the arrow next to that, then that brings up all of these different tools. The one that is going to be your best friend is going to be the rectangle. The rectangle is going to be a tool that you'll use to draw out your zones, your buy zones and your sell zones. So let's just put that there. And now you have your sell zone for the next bull run of Bitcoin. And we'll get rid of that just to clean it up. Underneath there, you have the text, and you can click the text button, and you could say, this is a text, and you can click OK. But of course, this does not look very good, so you would double click that, and you would change the font to something more readable. And then, of course, you could create an arrow if you want, and say like I'm pointing here, this is the text, and this could be really, really good, especially in the beginning, to just remind you of like why you've done something. You could write a little text out. If you click the little arrow next to the text button, what you can do is you can create a price label, so that's pretty cool. If you click right here, you'll see what price it was at, and you could literally just drag this anywhere and the price will automatically adjust. You could also double click it and then click the coordinates and just put whatever price you want to put in, and it'll go directly to that. So if we get rid of these, the other things that we have are some arrows left, arrows right, and these you could put for where you bought in at, or you could use them for where you sold. And above the arrows, if you double click it, you can write something above the arrows, and that will bring it right here, so you know exactly why you put that arrow there. But I never really use those, to be honest. You could also add little notes, so there's a few different things that you want to do if you want to do that. Underneath that area, you have this right here, and this, honestly, this is useful, and we'll get into it later in a very advanced course. This is the level 2, I want to say, when it comes to trading. First, you want to learn things like trend lines, support resistant levels, Fibonacci, MACD, etc., and then you get into Elliott waves, and then you get into some other things such as the Ichimoku clouds. So we're going to not really worry about that right now. Underneath that, you have the long position that you could put down. You have the short position that you could put down. And this is something that you'll probably want to end up using because it could tell you, your risk to reward ratio, like this, for instance, is a 4.38 risk to reward ratio. Anything above 2 is really, really good. So this could just give you the exact risk to reward ratio for whatever trade you're trying to do. And of course, risk management is extremely important when it comes to trading. Underneath that, you have this little measurement tool. It looks like a ruler, and this is really, really cool. So let's say, you have a trade or you want to do a trade. If we zoom in here, you want to see what percentage from here to here is. You could click that tool and then you could drag it up. And you could see, okay, from the low right here to the high right here, it had a 60% gain. And that happened over a 14-day period. Or if we get rid of that, you could click it and see that there was a loss, a 41% loss, and that happened over a 38-day period. Alternatively, you can also just press down the shift button on your keyboard and then click, and it will bring that up right there. So that's a useful tool to show you exactly what percent gain or loss you have in a particular trade. Underneath that, you have the zoom in. So you could click the zoom in and then you could choose the area that you want to zoom in. So you want to zoom in this area, you'll just do that and it'll zoom in right there. I never really use that though. I just use my trackpad to zoom in and zoom out. It's not that difficult. Underneath that, you could have this magnet, which is pretty cool. This lets you draw very precisely because it snaps the drawings that you place near price bars to the closest value on the chart. So if you have this clicked and you put a horizontal line close to the open or the high or the low or the close, it'll snap it into place. So I'm going to click this button right here. And now the magnet mode is on. I'm just going to click exit right there. So now that I click this, I'm going to go up here and click the horizontal ray. And now when I want to actually, put it on an exact space, what I could do is I could zoom in and this goes on this will be on the high. This will be on the low, this will be on the close, this will be on the open, and it will automatically go on the high. If I click right here, you can see, boom, now it's on the high. If I drag this down and I use this bar as a reference, what you could see is that it will go from the high, or it'll snap in place on the open, or if I bring it down, it'll snap in place. You saw that snap on the close, or it'll snap in place on the low. And this is actually a very, very useful and cool tool because it gives you exact numbers, and I like that. And you could do that with pretty much anything. So if I go up here and I click the horizontal line instead of the horizontal ray, what I could do is I could zoom out and I could see like where's a good support, where's a good resistance, and I could say, oh well, here is a good resistance. So I'll zoom in and I'll click right here, and it snapped it into place right where I wanted it. So that's what this little snapping magnetic tool does. That's pretty cool. You also have these buttons down here. You could lock your drawing tools in place if you don't want to ever move them. You could hide all of your drawing tools. So now it's just a blank graph again. You could unhide them. And then you could show your object tree. So if you have, let's just put up, a whole bunch of things. Let's put up the fib. We have our lines right here and right here. Let's put our, buy zone and our sell zone. And now what you could do is you could click this button, which is the object tree, and it'll show you all of the different things that you have. So the last things that I put up were rectangles right here and right here. And then I have the fib, I have the horizontal line, horizontal ray, and you could click, this button to hide them. Or if you want to simply just get rid of it all together and you don't want to even hide, you don't need it at all anymore, you could just click, say, for the fib, and I will press exit, and now it's gone for good. And then some of the last things I want to talk about in TradingView are these little buttons down here. So this is the flash. It's the instant snapshot. Very, very cool. Let's say you have your graph all laid out. You could press this button and it will take a snapshot, an instant snapshot of your graph. You could save your image And now all you need to do is just right click it, save image as, and you could save it to your desktop. That is very, very cool. So you have it for future reference and it saves everything you need. You could also copy it. You could tweet it out. You could do whatever you want with it. So that is pretty cool. Also, if you want, you can publish your idea, and publishing just shares your idea with everyone else or with just yourself. If you click the button, you'll see that this will come up, which basically says that TradingView supports open communication and creative ideas and wants you to express yourself freely. And you just need to play by the rules if you want to publish your ideas. So you just continue publishing. And remember that thing that I showed you before in the very, very beginning of this video, which was this right here. This is someone's published idea. And you could see this is what he wrote underneath of it, and this is his graph. That is exactly what this is right here. And if you let's say you did publish something, you can choose to either keep it private or to publish it publicly by clicking this lock right here. And this is pretty cool. I like this. You could keep it, your first couple of trades, your first like 10, 20, 50 trades to yourself, 100 trades to yourself. Just keep it private. And then once you get good, you could start to unlock it and make it public and, open it up to the world. But I'm not going to save anything right now, so I'm just going to exit out of this. And you really want to cancel this? Yes. And there you go. That is it. That is everything you need to know about TradingView, pretty much. I can't really think of anything else. And now that you know exactly how to use TradingView and all of the little different indicators and everything else like that, now you can get into actually trading and using TA and learning about the indicators and setting up your trades and learning everything you need to know to become a successful trader. All right, guys, that was the video, the comprehensive overview of TradingView. Once again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want more information like this, I do have a ton of other videos that you could watch. Also, I have a free course for you available that teaches you the fundamentals about Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, all of that. That's in the description below. And if you want to become a trader, if you want to learn all the ins and outs of trading, I do have a cryptocurrency mastery course that does go into trading. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video that you just saw was part of that course, and there are a lot more where that came from. So if you're interested in learning how to trade cryptocurrencies for a profit, then you could click the link below for the mastery course and be brought to that page as well. Other than that, let's get to the moon together. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.